It's now my honor to introduce our commencement keynote speaker, Dave Zgarrick. Dave earned his bachelor degree in pharmacy here at UW School of Pharmacy, and a master's and a PhD some other place I'm not sure where. The Ohio State University. Then he was vice chair of pharmacy practice at Midwestern University in Chicago, and John R. Ellis Distinguished Chair of Pharmacy Practice at Drake University. He's now Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs and Professor of Pharmacy at Beauvais College of Health Sciences at Northeastern University. Dave currently serves on the Board of Visitors of the School of Pharmacy, and I rely on Dave for a lot of important advice because of his perspectives in academia. So we have a board, we have a variety of different backgrounds, and Dave's an outstanding voice for another great School of Pharmacy. He's also a fellow of the American Pharmacists Association, and please join me in providing a warm Badger welcome to Dr. Dave Zgarrick.
Thank you, Dean Swanson, and thank you to the faculty, staff, families, friends, and most importantly, to the graduating class of 2018. Congratulations. When the dean invited me to speak today, I was thrilled, honored, and literally humbled beyond words. But the problem with giving a commencement address is that you need to come up with some words. Words are pretty important. I'm hopeful that my words today will not only reflect how honored I am, but more importantly, give you something that you can keep with you as you move forward. One thing about graduations is that we dress kind of funny. When else would we wear robes like this? You may have noticed, as Dean Swanson pointed out, that my robe is not quite the right color red. And what's with these gray bands on my sleeves? While I received my first professional degree from UW, I would receive my graduate degrees from a school a bit south and east of here that thinks that they must use the word "the" in their title, and also thinks that they know a thing or two about football. On days when I'm wearing my scarlet and gray, people ask me about my college loyalties. I tell them while I spent 4 years as a graduate student in Ohio, I spent the first 25 years of my life in Wisconsin. Do the math. While I may look like a Buckeye on the outside, in my heart and soul, I will always be a Badger. It's been 30 years since I graduated from UW. I'm thankful for the role that this university has had in almost every aspect of my life. My parents were hesitant that I come here. I sensed that they wanted me to go to a smaller school closer to home. But coming to Madison was important to me. Madison was my New York City. If I could make it here, I could make it anywhere. I hope that each of you today has that same sense of confidence, that your education at UW-Madison has prepared you for all of the challenges and opportunities that life and the world will present. I'm also thankful for the relationships that I developed in Madison with my classmates, faculty, and staff, some of whom are here today and have been an important part of your experience at UW. One of the best parts about being an educator is that you impact lives in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. My life and my career have been impacted by many of the people with us here today, as well as some people who have left us far too soon. I'm ever so grateful that they took the time not only to teach, but to also advise, lead, inspire, and foster a spirit that we are capable of doing things that we can't even imagine while we're in pharmacy school. I'll be the first to admit that much of what I'll share with you today isn't from the basis of my being an expert. I'm a pharmacist, a scientist, and a higher education administrator. Much of what I've learned is from the expertise of others, applying it in my own way, learning what works and what doesn't, making mistakes, and I've made plenty of those, celebrating successes, and then moving forward. My career has benefited from what I'll call happy accidents, the first of which was being born and raised in Marshfield. While Marshfield is in the heart of Wisconsin, And cheese literally did put me through college. My father worked for a dairy, so I think I can say that. Being born and raised in Marshfield helped me in ways that I did not appreciate until later in life. Many of you know about the Marshfield Clinic and the Medical Center. Growing up in this community exposed me to opportunities in pharmacy and healthcare that I likely would not have had in other communities. But other happy accidents about growing up in Marshfield included attending public schools that did a great job of preparing us for college, and being exposed to a degree of diversity that one would not normally associate with a small city in central Wisconsin in the 70s and 80s. What I learned in Marshfield prepared me for Madison and for my life that followed. But enough about me. What about you? What about this day? Graduations are a pretty big deal, aren't they? You got up, you dressed up, you put on these funny robes, you walked across the stage, you'll get your diploma at some point, and hopefully it will have Wisconsin spelled correctly. Now, those of us who graduated in the spring of 1988 may remember that when we received our diplomas, Wisconsin was spelled W-I-S-C-O-N-S-O-N. The university offered to replace our misspelled diplomas, and being the compliant pharmacist that I am, I took them up on their offer. All these years later, I sort of regret that. I kind of would have liked to have the misspelled diploma hanging from my wall. One thing about graduations is that, believe it or not, they're not really about you. Ask anyone who's ever been married about whether their wedding day was about them, and you'll sort of get the idea. Graduation ceremonies aren't for you. They are for everyone but you. These ceremonies, and being of this generation means that you've been through a lot of them, serve to validate the efforts that others have made on your behalf to help you reach this goal. Your parents, your family, your teachers and professors, your friends, and anyone else whose support has helped you reach this milestone. While you are the reason they are here, just the fact that you are here means that they've made a successful contribution to your success. Now, a minute ago, everyone gave a standing ovation to you. I'd like you to turn around, stand up, and give an ovation to everybody that is here to support you. Thank you. So, back to you. If this day isn't about you, what is about you? Everything that you've learned up to this day, both in the classroom and out, is all about you. You've been a learner, and as you've progressed, you've transitioned from being a dependent learner, learning what others think you should learn, when you should learn it, in the manner in which you should learn, to becoming an independent learner. As you crossed the stage today, you took an important step in determining what, when, and how you will learn for the rest of your career, and for that matter, for the rest of your life. Everything that you will do after this day, every way that you will apply what you've learned, is all about you, and likely much more important than anything that you'll do today. Caring for patients, discovering new treatments, working with other bright and talented people, leading your organization and profession, bringing about positive, proactive change in your communities. Everything that you will do with what you've learned at UW will not only change your life, but also the lives of many others. If I may share with you some advice that has served others well, I'll paraphrase Nathaniel Collach in the Harvard Business Review and Katie Rose Guest-Parrell from the Chronicle of Higher Education. In my current role, I advise faculty, department chairs, and even deans on how to succeed in academia. I've found that remembering these three concepts will benefit anyone embarking upon a new stage in life. First of all, career paths are stepping stones, not necessarily linear trajectories. While many of you will climb career ladders, you'll likely find that most people who reach the top didn't go straight up. Those of you who may be auto racing fans know that sometimes you need to go slow to be fast. Sometimes to move ahead, you may move laterally or even take a step back to get a better sense for what might be your best path forward. Secondly, learn from the 7 samurai. That starts with seeking agency. We want to be able to have the ability to choose who we work with, the projects we work on, when and where we work, and get paid enough to responsibly support the lifestyle that we want. We need tools to be able to set our own path. Universities are a wonderful place to obtain the knowledge, skills, attributes, and attitudes that will make up your toolbox. These tools will enable you to develop a career and to set a path where you will get to make the decisions that will shape your life and your happiness. Then, develop mastery. Get better and better at the talents that you enjoy using to the extent that they become intertwined with your identity. Over the years, you are going to come to learn more and more about less and less. And believe me, that's a good thing. You'll learn many, many things that you can't ever imagine having learned here at UW, such as the rules and regulations for the Massachusetts State Board of Plumbing Appeals. If you're wondering what on earth that has to do with pharmacy education, buy me a spotted cow down in the Rathskeller after the ceremony, and I'll be happy to tell you more. Finally, leave a legacy. What's your higher purpose? How do you want others to remember you? Leaving a legacy at a place like UW can be pretty daunting, especially when you think about all the great people who've been a part of this university and everything that they've gone on to accomplish. I try to think of leaving a legacy in simpler terms, like what my 4th grade teacher taught us about leaving a place looking nicer than we found it. I've tried to live her legacy over the years, doing little things and perhaps not so little things to leave my world and those in it in a better place. Thirdly, over the years you've conducted many experiments. Don't be afraid to keep experimenting. Stay curious about anything and everything. While pharmacy is known for its reference books, they don't have all of the answers. Experimenting is the way that we discover knowledge, whether it's a new gene therapy to treat a difficult form of cancer, a new way to help your employees be more productive, or even a new way to help a patient get the most out of their medication. Another bit of advice that I'll share is how important it is to take care of you. As pharmacists, scientists, and others pursuing careers in knowledge and health, you're likely here because you enjoy helping others. We frame ourselves as servant leaders, putting our patients, organizations, and professions above our own self-interests. While this is all well and good, it also takes a toll professionally and personally, as I've experienced all too well. We can't effectively help others until we can help ourselves. And yes, that means we need to take the time, the effort, and devote the resources to help ourselves. Take a step back and learn what makes you, you. Ask questions. Ask more questions. Ask for help. It will likely be one of the most difficult and perhaps even one of the most frightening things that we'll ever do. But by being introspective, by learning who you are and how you are, you'll be able to take steps that will better support you. You'll likely pick up some good habits, and hey, it may not even be so bad to pick up a bad habit or two. because sometimes bad habits just make life more fun. In thinking about what brings us together at the School of Pharmacy, I'd like to provide you with a couple of challenges. I've learned that words are really important, and that semantics are everything, especially in a world where we have many ways to communicate, but often don't see each other face to face or eye to eye. First, I'd like to challenge you to use the words community pharmacy to describe the setting where most pharmacists practice. Just what is retail pharmacy anyway? A pharmacy that has something to sell? By that definition, all pharmacy practice has economic consequences. We all sell something, whether it's a drug product or the knowledge of how to use it properly. By that logic, the word retail should be used to describe all pharmacists, or no pharmacists, and I prefer the latter. A second word-related challenge, and this one may be even more daunting, is to stop using the word clinical to describe the work or title of any pharmacist. Now, I value history, and understanding context is vital, not just to recognize the past and present, but to set a course for the future. Our profession has benefited from the pioneering efforts of leaders who recognize that the knowledge and skills of pharmacists could be used to improve patient care and public health outcomes in a variety of ways, opening doors for new roles and new opportunities for pharmacy practice. And at the same time, don't let anyone tell you that drug distribution, or as I learned right here in Chamberlain Hall, getting the right drug in the right form, at the right dose, to the right patient at the right time, please don't let anyone tell you that that is not a clinical function, regardless of practice setting. Just imagine for a moment the clinical consequences of not doing so. We are all clinical pharmacists, and my ask is that none of us use that title to describe who we are or the focus of our practice. I've also learned that people are important. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for the School of Pharmacy advisor who came to Marshfield for a career day seminar and opened a door to pharmacy for a student who had been planning on majoring in chemistry and then going to medical school. There are so many faculty, staff, and students in the School of Pharmacy who've not only educated me, but who've helped shape my career and continue to advise and mentor me to this day. My challenge, and believe me, it's been a big one, has been to not mention any of them specifically by name, as there are far too many to mention, and I don't want to risk failing to mention somebody in my effort to recognize others. Let me take this opportunity to thank everyone who has and continues to be associated with the School of Pharmacy, and everyone who will continue to make this school a world leader in discovering knowledge and educating students and professionals about medications and their use. In closing, there are a few people I would like to mention by name. I'd like to thank my parents, Mike and Barb Zgarrick, who, while they aren't here today, I'm looking forward to joining for a fish fry this evening, and to remember that it's good to be back home. I'd like to thank my brothers, Mark and Pat, my wife, Michelle, who's a pharmacist who did her PGY1 residency right here at UW Health, and to our small, furry children, Ellie, Seamus, and Zoe. I'd like to thank so many friends and colleagues who have shared their lives with me over the years. And finally, to our profession of pharmacy, which has given me so much more than I feel I could ever give in return. One final reflection. If I've learned anything, it's no matter what I've learned, no matter what I've done or have not done, there's only one thing that I can do, and that is to move forward. Or as the Manitowoc Minute guy might say, keep her moving. Forward is not only the motto of the state of Wisconsin, but it's also a pretty good direction to be headed. Thank you.